We work so you can play.
Hey mini wargamers, it's Paul here. Another project, really great one this time. I brought you the Trigon right when it came out last time. This time I was lucky enough to get my hands on the new Deff Dread model. This has been in the Ork since back in the olden days. I had some of the old second edition ones, and let me tell you, this is an amazing model compared to those. Painted up nice and quick because it's a preview model, and want to share this with everybody out there. You can check out my channel for the full article. Everything's magnetized on this, so you can swap out all the arms. So yeah, let's run through the paint job that I put on here. Obviously it's a plastic model, so no more dread saw problems. Goes together really nice, and you can check it out. It's a nice preview for you. Basically what we got here is like your typical Ork stuff. You want to start with a black spray paint. So spray paint everything black, and then you're going to add detail on top of that. So obviously here the main colors are red and checkers. Anything that's not black is going to be red. Oh, and I guess there's a metal, rusty metal look, because you know Orks don't really take care of their stuff. So what I did is I started out with assembling it all, adding the magnets. I used 3/16. Anyways, you can see them right here. So the magnets just go right in there, and another magnet in the end of this. These are ball joints. While you might think that that's going to be difficult to magnetize, it's actually really easy. What I did first is I drilled a 1/16 hole in the middle, and then drilled in my slightly larger hole, and then popped the magnet in there, super glued it, and good to go. So obviously with the Deff Dread, there's some different combinations you want to use. It comes with 2 close combat arms base, and anything else that you add on is you can add 2 more close combat arms for 2 more attacks in close combat, obviously. The other option that I painted up in this go was a Scorcha. I figured it's got an Ork pilot, so the ballistic skill of 2, he can't really hit anything, but a Scorcha, you don't have to roll the hit, so that's a good alternative if you're going against a horde army, so maybe Tyranids or Imperial Guard. So those are the options. It comes with lots of weapon options though. The kit has obviously has 1 Scorcha, it has 2 rockets, so you can have 2 rocket arms on here, or you can have big shooters, and it also comes with 2 custom Mega Blasters. So lots of options and lots of extra little plastic bits. This front bit here, I chose that skull kind of face. There's 2 other options that you can pick from. One that looks like the old Deff Dread, and I forget what the third one is. Anyways, lots of options, lots of little extra plastic bits you can put on there. And you know, even if you don't want to make a Deff Dread, there's so many cool bits here to make Orky conversions, maybe make some looted wagons out of. It's just an awesome kit. It goes together really easy. You can check out all those pictures on my channel. Tons of pictures. You can see sprue pictures and everything else. One thing that you might want to convert, you can see the top hatch there. Unfortunately, that doesn't open, so if you wanted to carve that out, maybe use the hatch from your Stompa, if you have one of those laying around, and you put an Ork driver from a battle wagon kit, something like that. That'd be a really cool conversion. I've seen a couple on the internet already. So anyways, back to the painting. So started off with black, then I added the red. Now I did this with my airbrush, to kind of base coated it with the airbrush, and I went over it again with some blood red, GW blood red, to get some of the highlights a little sharper. I find the airbrush to be nice and fast. You get some really cool techniques and really cool shading out of it, but it's not required. A Mecherite red or a Reaper deep red would work just as well, and maybe a wash or 2 on top of that. So once I had the reds done, then I went on to I added the silver. So mostly the engine in the back here, and then I just picked out some random spots that I thought might be metal type colors. And of course, bolt gun metal is your best bet there. Add some Devlin mud after, and highlight it with some chainmail. Nothing too bright. You don't want the mithril silver because you know it's Orks and they're not going to be too bright. Not too bright and not too shiny either. Then for the white bits, there's not too many on this one, but in the cans there is more. The bone up there, his tusks, and some just other highlights. Started that off with I don't know how I pronounce it. I always pronounce this wrong. Calthron brown, one of the foundations, and then I do bleach bone on top of that, and skull white just sort of around the bit of the edges. I find that gives it kind of a dirty look and nice and orky. As well, the Orks that I do, I have checkered patterns, and I didn't put much. I think I only had 1 checker pattern on this guy, just to kind of tie it in with the rest of my army. Start out with a base coat of black. Use Astronomican gray, so it's just a light gray. Paint on the checkers with that, and then highlight it with skull white. You can go back, you can touch it up with the black, but I find that a really thin down foundation goes on nice, gives you a nice checker pattern, and then the white just kind of makes it pop a little bit. After that, I added a couple yellow bits here and there, and and added some of the decals. Now it didn't come with any of these, but obviously if you're an Ork player, you probably have just stacks of them. You know, so you see some back here. From all of your other kits, I've got, you know, at least a dozen sheets of these from battle forces, battle wagons, trucks, you name it, everything except for these new ones. But maybe other ones will come with it. I don't know. You have lots of those. Put a couple here and there just to add some character. So that was basically the main color scheme. The last thing I did was add some weathering. Now, of course, everything Orky needs to have lots of scratches and rust. And in my opinion, the best thing for that is Reaper Rust Brown. It is awesome. So easy. I took a dry brushing kind of brush. Hey, there's Joe. Actually, it was a pretty cheap craft brush. Did a really kind of prepared it to like a heavy dry brush. Not kind of over brushing, but maybe a little lighter. Again, there's a picture of me kind of getting that ready in the painting article that I did. So I kind of went over the edges, kind of brushed over the edges away from the edge. So basically starting at the edges and brushing inwards and just kind of dragging it in. You'll get some lines in there. And I went around almost every edge. You can see some up here, and basically gives a rust area. In the past, I've used light gray and it kind of looked like primer, but who am I kidding? Orks don't really prime their stuff before they paint it. So rust makes a better base coat for Orks. In the past, I've also used GW Tin Bits color. I actually didn't use that at all on these, which is one of the first times I've ever done that. I kind of got the rusty look through the Reaper Rust Brown, some Devlin Mud, some other browns kind of in there, scorched brown type of a thing, and was really happy with the results, so I didn't need to use GW Tin Bits. And then to get the silver stuff, I like to use chainmail. Bolt gun metal isn't quite shiny enough. The chainmail looks like nice, fresh, scratched metal, and it's not quite as bright as the mithril silver that GW makes, so I think it just looks, it adds a nice amount of character, but it isn't kind of phony looking the way the mithril can look. Now, if you wanted to go back and just do the absolute edges with mithril, like as a really, really fresh scratch, that would look good too, but I didn't bother with that. I felt it looked good enough the way it was. And then for the base, I had a little Eldar rune bit in my bits box that I added on there. These rocks here are actually just a wine cork that I ripped apart and glued down, base coated dark gray. And then the sand is just, I use acrylic gel medium with resin sand in it. I mean, you can just add PVA glue and regular sand on there and paint it up. Just some brown and then obviously static grass all around there. And then to finish it all off, some of the paints I used had a bit more gloss than other ones, so just to make it look uniform and protect the paint a bit, I sprayed it with a matte finish, just a light coat of that. Just helps take away any shine, protects the paint a little bit from scratching and whatnot. So there you go, there's the Deff Dread. Awesome model, so much easier to put together than the metal one, and a great addition to any Ork army, and also just a source of tons of awesome bits. There's some glyph plates, there's so many extra weapons. So I think there comes with 5 of these claw buzzsaw, whatever arms. So I mean, you could use those for your Deff Coptas to add your buzzsaws. That's one of the cool options. So you know, you can have mobile power claws basically. Whatever the case is, if you want to put some of those on your Deff Coptas, that would be cool. So yeah, you get lots of those. You get enough arms to do 4 arms. You get lots of weapons. So you have 1 Scorcha, 2 rockets, 2 big shooters, and 2 custom Mega Blasters. There you go. Check it out. Check out my channel for some more pictures and a little bit more explanation. If you have any questions, post them in the comments and I'll see if I can try to answer them. See you later.